guys, it's Ginger here, and today I'm going to give you some tips and some tricks to filming on an iPhone. Now, I did do a video that was literally identical to this, but I did it 3 years ago. I was really uneducated at the time, and I did know what I was talking about, but I was doing a very bad example of those things. I will have a link in the description, or even have an info card, it'll probably be up in that corner, with a link to the old video I did from 3 years ago back in 2015. So I'm gonna talk about filming with an Apple product and how to go about it. So a lot of us don't really have the money to afford really professional cameras or anything like that. Believe it or not, I'm not using any sort of professional camera right now. I'm using my iPhone to film this, even though it's really good quality and I'm really proud of it. So I'm going to teach you how to replicate this, and honestly, it's astoundingly simple. So the first step to good quality videos is a good background. Now, there are a lot of rules to backgrounds that other YouTubers have. They say it needs to be simple, they say it needs to be interesting. I like to combine the two. I either have an interesting floor with a bland wall, or an interesting wall with a bland floor. In today's video, I am using, believe it or not, this is the back of a locker from Justice. And the floor is just a folder from Staples, but it's a black folder. I swear. Here's my LPS, this is a Staples folder, and like I said, this is a Justice locker. I was not lying. So the next thing I want to do is touch base with you about the idea of lighting. Lighting really does make your video incredible. If you don't have the right lighting, your video is going to be really bad, no matter what type of camera or phone you're filming with. And here's proof. Right now, I'm going to turn off my light, and here's what you're going to see. Which, is really mesmerizing and really beautiful, but it's not exactly what I want you to see. However, wow, yeah, really pretty. Now I'm going to show you the light that I'm using to film this. It's actually my sister's, but she's allowing me to use it. This is the light right here. There's nothing really special about it. It's just a light from Staples. And yeah, if you turn it off, it can still be an okay video, but lighting is really gonna transform your video. You just gotta trust me on that one. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is actually preparing the camera itself. There's not a ton you have to do to get the video right before you film, but there is a little bit. So right now I'm going to show you a screen recording of me preparing the shot before I actually film it. Okay guys, so we're going to start at the regular user interface of the iPhone camera. So as you can see, you can do square and pano, but we're going to go ahead and go down to video, obviously. So what we're going to do is begin by just setting our camera down and positioning it however we want. Now since this is just a narrative video, I'm just going at a straightforward angle, but you can see there's a bunch of fancy schmancy angles you can use, but that's not really important for a video like this. So we're going to start by setting the camera down, and once we have it down, we have to lock our focus onto our LPS pet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to long press the screen. I'm going to tap and hold on the LPS. So you'll see that in a second. There we go. And now AEAF lock is turned on, which is good. Now you're going to take your finger and just slide it down. You're going to take your finger on the screen and slide it down a little bit. And that's going to help the exposure, which is how light your video is. Now, if you overexpose your video, it's going to be super light and you won't be able to make it dark again. But if you make your video too dark, you can always lighten it. So it's better to scroll your finger down and go a little more dark than a little more light. So when I put my finger down, as you could see, it made the little sun go down, which proves that the exposure is then locked at that setting, which is a little lower than regular exposure, which is what we want. So now we're ready to film. That is pretty much the basics of filming a good video with an iPhone. Now I could go into editing, but editing is so subjective. It's different for everyone. So don't you dare think that you have to edit how I edit, because there's an entire spectrum of ways to edit. Now, the last actual tip I have for you guys is if you want to make your video a little more professional, rather than using your hands to control the LPS, which really messes with the exposure. Look at those shadows. you can actually use a popsicle stick. I used to hate this method because I loved the old school way of filming LPS, but eventually one day I decided to try using the popsicle sticks, and I promise it makes a world of difference. It is a little annoying to have a stick in the background, but it's also really annoying to have a big old hand in the background. So, yeah, I recommend trying the popsicle sticks. If you're still like, no, this isn't me, this isn't my film style, then you know what? Take your liberties, stick to your style. But it's something that you can try if you would like. So that's really all I have for today, guys. Now, if you have any more tips or any questions, tell me in the comments. And if you want me to make a video all about just editing, go ahead and tell me that too. And remember to check out my really old video from 2015. It's not really helpful and it's really, really bad. But it gives you an idea of how much I've improved and how much you can improve too if you just, stick with it and continue. 3 years of improvement, and it's made a world of a difference.